been growing some peppers indoors, and all of a sudden they're not doing very well. But I think it might help if I take them out of these little cells. It's not a root problem that we've got at all, as you can see. But the plants definitely don't look very happy. But if you look really close at that centre, you can see they're trying to grow the first true leaves. So any plants that you get that are doing that have got to be worth trying to save. It's not been a very good year at all for peppers for me personally, because although we've germinated those indoors and they germinated perfectly well, it was basically what happened after that that's caused this problem. The fact that due to energy crisis we can't really afford to eat a room that we don't use. It's not cost effective to do things like that, so we basically had them under lights in a room that was quite cold. Normally these plants would be 3 times this size by now and looking a lot healthier. So we keep bringing them outdoors so they get some natural sunlight, hoping that that might help to bring them on. But what will help bring them on even more is if we give them a little bit more space to grow. But peppers don't like being moved into somewhere really big all in one jump. So what we'll do is we'll move them into something like this. The cells are quite a bit bigger. We've got plenty of room to grow in there. And maybe we'll offer them a little bit of feed and see if that helps pick them up. Because beyond that, I'm not really sure what to do about them. But because peppers take so long to grow, you don't want to be losing them at this time of year. So I'll just pick out the best of these plants and see how they get on over the next couple of weeks. And I've already germinated some extra ones indoors on a heat mat now, because I'd hate to get into summer and have no peppers at all. And I'm using that Grow Show compost as well, because according to the packaging it contains up to 3 months worth of feed. I'm pretty sure if we leave these peppers where they are, they're just not going to get any better and we're going to lose them altogether. So for the sake of a few minutes, we might as well give them the best chance that we can. At least we have got some backup plants growing indoors if all else fails. But I'd rather not spend the first 2 months of the year growing plants to find out that when it comes to this time of year they're actually no good, because that's a waste of time and a waste of lighting. So they deserve as much effort as we can give them. And I'm making sure that this compost is nicely compacted down, because peppers like to grow in a firm bed. And by doing that, you're getting more compost into this cell. And then I'm just going to loosely top it off, because we've got to get that little plug in there as well. So I'll just pop one of these out. They're very easy to get out. I'll start with that one because it's not a bad sized plant. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this compost away from the top. Just making that plug a little bit smaller and loosen up any roots that we've got at the same time to try and encourage it to grow more. And I've made quite a big hole in there, so when I drop that plug in I can push it right down at the same time. I'm going to bury it a little bit deeper than it were, but not too much. Peppers aren't like tomatoes. They can actually grow fresh roots from the stem, but not to the degree that a tomato plant does. So we don't want to bury those too much. So we've got one moved on. And it is unfortunate when your plants start looking like this. But if there's a way that we can help them, it's worth doing. So we'll drop that next one in as well. And we'll do the same. And now we're getting down to those really tiny ones. You can see they've barely grown. So something needs to be done since they've got true leaves. Don't think we're going to get many more out of here. But this one's quite tiny, but it has got 2 sets of true leaves. So I think we'll just take that one anyway. But that's pretty poor after a tray that should have been 24. The exact same things happened to this tray as well. These are also peppers, but they're the ones that grow really long. We've not only had poor germination, but some of these plants have also started to die off. So we best get what we can out here as well. Which I think is probably one of the worst results I've ever had. And it is all down to that cold. But again, really good root systems on these. It's just the tops that seem to be suffering. So, very disappointing start for those peppers. But we've got them in bigger cells now. So they've got a better chance of growing more roots and a stronger root system. But they don't look amazing. So what we'll do is we'll take them back indoors. We'll pop them on a heat mat. Because heat mats don't really take any money to run. But if it helps these plants out, it's going to be worth it. And since I'm out here potting things on, I might as well move these as well. Those blue bedders that we've got in cells. We'll have a look and see what's happening with root system. And as you can see, very good root systems. And these are actually multi-sown. There's more than one plant. So we can get a big nice bunch of these blue bedders. You can get the seeds for these from Wilco's as well. And they are really nice plants and they grow quite big. About that tall they can get to, and the stems are full of really nice blue flowers. And they also germinate quite easily in cold temperatures, so you could give those a go if you've not got any. What I'll do is I'll move them on into 9cm pots, because then they'll get 3 times size in no time. When it gets to this time of year, any plants that you've got that look like they could be moved on, you might as well do it, because we're reaching that point now where that temperature is going to start to pick up along with light levels. So don't forget your clocks go forward an hour, so we get an extra hour's daylight. So we can just shake away a little bit of that compost. And then you'll see we've got 3 separate plants there. If we wanted to, we could quite easily separate these and get ourselves more plants growing. But for the moment, I want to keep them as a bunch. So basically I just want to push them down into that compost and then infill around them to keep them nice and compact together. So now we've moved them onto this 9cm and they've got loads more room to grow. So we just need to do the same thing with rest. So just dropping it in and backfilling. And that's why I hold the tops of these plants while I'm doing it, so I can keep them together in a nice bunch. So I'm basically half filling these pots and then pressing it down. It's just a case of dropping them in, pressing them down a little bit, and then keeping them bunched together best we can while we backfill. If you give it a shake, sometimes it'll just find its own way. Just need a little bit more that side. And that's another one sorted out. And that one's got a massive root system. But same as we did last time, push it in. Make sure those roots are buried, then bunch the whole thing together while we just infill around those edges, pressing it down at the same time. Then same other side. Then last thing, just making sure it's nice and central and everything's upright. And we're done. So even though it's a little bit disappointing about those peppers, we've just done everything possible to help bring them on. And of course, they'll be going back indoors. These, very easy to move on. And now we've moved them into these size pots, they'll stay in there until we're ready to plant them outside. And as we go over the next few weeks, we'll be looking at other stuff that we can move on and try and help. We've got to keep on top of every plant that we've got at the moment, because just for the sake of one lapse, you could lose quite a few. And we don't want to start all over again from seed if we had an opportunity to sort a problem out before it went too far. So I'll crack on and I'll get the rest of these flowers done. And then tomorrow, we'll see what else we can do, because I'm sure there's going to be lots. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this channel. I really appreciate all your support. And if you're not already subscribed to this channel, please hit that subscribe button and press that notifications bell. And we'll see you on next upload. Enjoy your weekend. Take care. Don't forget about those clocks.